and welcome to the MushkaExtra. The MushkaExtra is a magazine program that seeks to motivate, promote and entertain the African continent. At the MushkaExtra, we bring you all of lifestyle, governance, tourism to your TV stream and a lot more. And today, we are at the home of the Director General of the Sierra Leone Aviation Authority in Freetown, Sierra Leone. Aviation is one of the most important sectors to boost the country's economy, and that's why we're here to see how best we can discuss a lot more about aviation. This can add economical value to Sierra Leone's economy. Hello and welcome to the MushkaExtra, Mr. Moses Tiffa.
Thank you very much, Mara.
Who is this man, Moses Tiffa?
My name is Moses Tiffa Baio. I was born and bred in Sierra Leone, like any other African child. I went through so many relatives and family members. I came to Freetown for university education. I'm a product of the government secondary school board, and then of course I went to university in Sierra Leone, and then before I ever proceeded to further studies in Accra, Ghana.
Since you took over as Director General of the Sierra Leone Aviation Authority, so can you tell us about those remarkable changes that you have implemented so far?
Since the government of His Excellency retired President Julius Baio came to power in 2018 and subsequently appointed me as the Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority, we have done tremendous efforts in terms of trying to change or rebrand the aviation sector, particularly the regulatory agency. Some of the things we have tried to embark upon has been that one, we have to look at our security ratings. Quite recently we held our ICAO Universal Security Audit, in which we were able to score 72%, which is slightly above. We are above the African average of 65%, and then slightly below the global average of 75%. So significantly, that's what we have been achieved with the security aspect. So apart from that, we will also be able to concentrate on more capacity building, trying to see that we should be able to build the local capacity of the staffs within the regulatory agency, because the bedrock of every aviation system is the regulatory agency.
So let's just look at it generally. What are some of the international or national challenges that you are going through a modernized, regulatory system to manage our transport sector in Sierra Leone?
Generally have suffered from lack of investment in the aviation industry, specifically its infrastructure and its capacity building for the people that provide the relevant services. Unfortunately, that has negated our economic growth, because aviation or air transport specifically is a catalyst for economic development. So our failure inadvertently ignoring to invest in that particular sector has served as a stumbling block to the development of our tourism sector and by extension our economics across the continent. Let me take the case of Sierra Leone. We had the airport authority since 1988, and to date, the airport authority, we still have the same infrastructure that was left with us, our colonial masters. So, which means that from 1988 to date, there has not been massive investment in that particular infrastructure. It's only now that the government of President Julius Baio is working on trying to see how to invest in our airport infrastructure. Talk not of our airline, the Sierra National Airlines was left in coal lands to die naturally, and that was a very sad mistake that we did, because at that time the government then could not come in to provide the necessary financial resources they needed to bankroll the institution so that they could not go into liquidation. So basically, these are some of the few challenges actually that has impacted the growth of the aviation industry in Africa and Sierra Leone by extension, because our successive government has refused to invest in the industry, be it in the infrastructure and in building capacity of its personnel.
Now, Sierra Leone is the first country in West Africa to close its airspace in terms of the COVID-19. So how did you guys get to that point, making a decision to to consider the safety of our Sierra Leoneans living in Sierra Leone and of course foreigners living in the country?
The COVID was declared a pandemic by the WHO. 2 weeks later, we closed down our airspace to foreigners. The aim of preventing the importation of COVID into Sierra Leone. That decision was taken by His Excellency the President without Brigadier Madam.
Let's just take it there from the Director General of the Sierra Leone Aviation Authority. And of course, you can't come to Sierra Leone and don't talk about food. And today for that, we're going to look at the Pulse Restaurant. They're going to show us the chef's special. What is going to make for us today?
Welcome to Pulse Restaurant. I'm Victoria Conte and I'm the head chef. Today, I want to show you how to make the most famous dish na salon, when a cassava leaf. For cooking cassava leaf, you can't forget your leaf. Where you go wash them, you pick them, you either grain them or you beat them. We go with palm oil, where you go use palm oil or use vegetable oil. We get with onions, when I'm for add flavor to the cassava leaf. We get with season cube, where you can use any Maggi for suit you taste. We get with groundnut paste, as you know what you can do inside with cassava leaf. If you get enough money, you either put meat, cow belly, where we call shaki, or cow foot. We get with beans. These beans are highly proteinous inside your cassava leaf. We get hot pepper, where for add spice to your cassava leaf. We get ogiri, when are out of Benny seed. And we get the smoked fish, where some can call and dry fish. Make we can go, make I go show now how I cook my cassava leaf with all the ingredients there. Wow! This now the end product of the cassava leaf. You can either eat it with rice, gari, or fufu, or pounded yam.
Thanks there to our Pulse chef for putting together that delicious looking meal for us today in the show. And of course, whenever you are in Freetown, don't forget to visit Pulse Restaurant. Welcome back again, Mr. Moses Tiffa. Moving with a new direction, what is it that you can put together in terms of staff empowerment, in terms of making the industry attractive for young people to come on board with their skills and talents to develop that sector?
The industry is new, and most people do not aware about what are the potential career opportunities that are within the industry that will benefit young people in Sierra Leone. So that's actually one of the reasons. But to be more honest with you, as far as the civil aviation is concerned, we have been able to make the authority very attractive to very young, promising Sierra Leoneans. Because one, we have provided them with a career path, which is very, very good, because as a young man coming from university, what you want to have is to have a successful career. And by that, you must have a career path defined. Once your career path is defined and you make sure that your capacity is built towards that career path, then definitely you have a long way to go. So that's what we have provided with our staff. We have the International Civil Aviation Organization. We have our regional bodies, we are at African level and the West African level. These are all institutions who rely on resources within the member states. So if you are a Sierra Leonean with the requisite capacity, when there is need for recruitment in this organization, certainly you benefit from those things. So that alone itself is a motivating factor for a lot of young people why they want to come into the CA.
So what's your perception as the Director General of the Sierra Leone Civil Aviation Authority about young people immediately coming out of the engineering department, for example, and expecting those jobs they are looking forward to?
Well, to be honest with you, career rewarding job requires some amount of time. You have to build your capacity over time and reach a certain level before you actually start to reap the reward. Unfortunately though, most of our youths, our brothers and sisters coming from universities today are looking out for quick fixes, so therefore they do not have the patience to continue to build upon their knowledge they have just acquired from university. So for me, what I want to say to young people basically, after leaving university, your first priority is to be on how to start building your career.
Okay.
Don't look out for the money. The money will naturally come after you have actually built a very good career for yourself.
The coronavirus or the COVID-19 affected your industry greatly, looking at the movement schedule actually. So how were you able to manage your staffs in terms of needs and wants organizationally to see how best you can support your staff through this COVID-19 period?
We are one of the badly affected industries, and especially organizations in Sierra Leone. Immediately flights were cancelled, which means that our sources of revenues were no longer coming in. But he has to be able to have manage our resources very well, and we have our reserve, our investment account. So we have a lot of money in there that we'll be able to take care of ourselves since the closure of commercial activities to date. And then of course again we also have to apply to the government for a bailout recovery. And it is also good to our listeners to know that we are one of the agencies that the government granted bailout facilities to us. So we also reach out to government for that, and that has been coming. So on the fund side, basically we could not have any kind of austerity measures in place. We are well taken care of all throughout this period. We also introduce the normal IPC protocols at our office environment, which are hand washing, use of hand sanitizers, and then of course we are taking normal body temperature for those staffs who are coming to the office on a daily basis. So rationally speaking, as far as the fight against COVID in terms of our own operational level, that's what we did basically. And since we are back, we don't have any case of that within the organization, and nobody has complained in terms of my staff that their salaries were not paid or whatever allowances that were due to them, we are not giving to them. So thankfully, and we are grateful to God for that, and to the government of President Julius Maada Bio too.
Female empowerment is one thing in Sierra Leone we have been crying for or looking forward to establish, in every sector of governance. And of course, the aviation industry is one that's maybe I can say it's deprived a little bit of having female in the sector. But so far so good. What can you say about female empowerment in your sector?
ICAO is one of the specialized agencies of the United Nations.
Okay.
And by extension, we've been an arm of ICAO, and means that we are also again we uphold some of the principles of the United Nations. So certainly gender empowerment within the organization is one of my key priorities. We have that. And if let's say, for example, if I'm giving you a head count, we have about 4 inspectors, the aviation security inspectors qualified, who are females within the security division. And of course, within the safety division, we have about 2 women there. One is she's a manager, and one of the, in fact, she's the only qualified aerodromes engineer in Sierra Leone, which is the service. So basically, in fact, within the sub-region, so that is something we are very much proud of. And anywhere she goes, she's flying the flag of Sierra Leone. Even in our board, in a board of 9, we have it's mandatory. 3 of them are females, compulsory, minimum, which means minimum representation on the board has to be 3 out of 9. So that tells you that we actually institutionally value gender equality or female empowerment.
Okay, viewers, somehow gender equality is key nowadays. And don't forget, you're still watching the MushkaExtra on this channel. And don't forget, the MushkaExtra comes to you every weekday on this same channel. And we are the home of the Director General of the Sierra Leone Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Moses Tiffa Baio. Let's meet Sierra Leone Hudson that makes one of the best designs in Sierra Leone.
I'm Hudson Martin Sensise. I hail from the northern province of Sierra Leone. I was raised by a single parent. I started fashion back in college as a way to sustain me in college and as a way to create funds for me to able to go through my course. But the main source of my inspiration actually hailed from my grandmom. When my parents divorced, my grandmom took me in and she was a seamstress. She used to tailor her own clothes and tailor our own clothes as well. I actually studied BSc in education at Fabi College and I obtained my first degree. I won the Designers Award back in college for 3 consecutive years. I was nominated since the day I entered university. All through my 4 years in university, I was being nominated and I was voted for. And during the course of my 3rd year in college, I had to win the Designers Award. My craftsmanship developed from there, I must say, though I was doing education as a degree program, but I did that as a side job in order for me to be able to upkeep what I knew best. So it happened the actual time that I started going international is the time that my friend was being auditioned to represent Sierra Leone at the Big Brother Africa by then in South Africa. Michael Bonibasi, he was a close friend of mine. He came to me and asked me, Hudson, I think I need you to style me for this show because you have the kind of basics that I think I can sail through for this show. I started off fixing the pants, the Ankara pants, the Garadai pants, and then we did some laping, you understand? So I was able to put so many things together for him. And he went for this competition. It was a massive explosion in the fashion industry for us here because he was the best dressed at that show at that year, which sets me apart from so many other designers because my fabric choice is really, really high end. Currently, I am like the creative consultant for Madden Fashion Week. Even though I'm versatile and I do make all kind of clothes, but like I think my passion, it's more on evening looks. As you can see at the back, I have this asymmetric cut. It's actually made with Ankara and with the gold embellishment on it, with the sheer on it as well. And you can see the vibrant colors. When you go out in the dark, you need to look flamboyant. You need to stand out from everyone else. So that's why when we do evening garments, we have to give something that's a little bit sparkles and that has a lot of colors playing with it as well. So this is actually one of my signature look. It's my 2020 collection. It's called Hot on Fire. And this as well, it's actually a unisex kind of cut. As you can know, we are mostly into embroidery. This is the embroidery. It's also embroidered with gold and black. I love black so much and gold because it represents sophistication and class. I've been able to attract the attention of prominent people in my society, both home and abroad. Currently, I do style my first lady and even my manager is one of the people that I style for every event. She has been one of my greatest sources to market my product in and out of this country. Thank you very much for listening. I am grateful.
Welcome back to the MushkaExtra on this channel to developing the sector of aviation in Sierra Leone. What are those things that you can put together to see how best we can push this to another level?
In terms of the industry in Sierra Leone, we are at a situation where our aviation industry is at its needs, in the sense that we have limited aviation activities in Sierra Leone. We are blacklisted by the European Union after the use of audit, the ICAO audit in 2006, safety audit. So at the moment we cannot register our aircraft. If we really want to have a national carrier, we will not be able. So my focus really, in terms of my leadership objective, is geared towards that direction, trying to see how back we can regain our lost glory.
Okay.
We should be able to address the issues that led us to a situation wherein we cannot register the aircraft in Sierra Leone. So in achieving that milestone, there are a few things we have to get right. One, like I said before, we have to continually build the capacity of the local staff. That is number one, because it's very, very important. If you not build the capacity, you will not be able to provide the necessary service that you are required by law to provide. Second, we have to create the enabling environment for the private sector to thrive, especially the aviation service providers. We need to encourage more airlines to come in. We have to liberalize the economy, the aviation sector in particular, to have multiple players, to make sure that they should be able to create the necessary dynamism that which is required. So, coupled with a very strong regulatory regime, you need to have a very buoyant private sector investment in the industry. So, these are the two things actually we are looking towards to building a world-class civil aviation authority that will be able to meet the demands of the industry if it grows. Then second, we are creating the enabling environment for the industry to thrive, so that by expanding aviation activities in the country, like for example, at the moment we do not have domestic air transport. So these are all areas we are looking at the possibilities of trying to expand into it. We do not have in-flight catering in Sierra Leone. These are all potential areas that we can expand our activities to. So basically, if you ask me in a nutshell, these are the two things actually my leadership is focusing on. One, how do I build a world-class civil aviation authority in Sierra Leone? And then secondly, again, how do we open up the economy for more aviation-related activities?
I wish you all the best in that your quest, but before we go quickly, what are the strive or the positive changes that ICAO, the international regulatory body, has been, impacting in the Sierra Leone Aviation Authority?
The International Civil Aviation Organization is the global body charged with the mandate to regulate the aviation industry. And Sierra Leone has been one of the signatories to both the Chicago and Montreal conventions that promulgated that established ICAO. Fortunately, our rankings within ICAO is very low as a result of the last use of audit in 2006. But we are on a journey with ICAO together. ICAO has always been a very robust and a reliable partner to Sierra Leone, and they have provided a lot of assistance to us. I made mention of the Safe Fund project, which we partnered with them last year. We just completed it in February before COVID to build capacities in aerodromes. The lady I made mention of as one of the beneficiaries of that project. Presently, we are also working with them to certify Freetown International Airport. So there have been tremendous support from ICAO actually as a global body to enhance the state's safety oversight capabilities, and we are very much grateful to them. And this is actually part of the inspirational leadership provided by the former president then, who was a Nigerian named Dr. Banana. That was his initiative, which he called, Country Left Behind. Wherein the objective of that is to look for weaker states with capacities to provide safety oversight, and see how you can support them build the required capacities that the global body needed. So we are on that kind of trajectory with them, and we are very much grateful with the leadership, especially at the regional headquarters in Dakar. Both the former Mr. Mamsek Jallo and now the current one, which is Prosper Mito, they have been giving the state the necessary support actually that is required of we to get to what is expected of us.
Thank you so much to the Director General of the Sierra Leone Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Moses Tiffa. We have a small gift at the MushkaExtra, where we give to our guests on the show to show how much we appreciate them, and then to look forward to more successful interviews or relationships later, sir. So this is just a small token from the producers of the MushkaExtra, and of course we have postcard here that we are looking forward to you to just sign us, you being part of the MushkaExtra, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you and welcome to for
Just sign it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So this, we are going to keep it in our archives that she was part of the show. And of course, it's part of the MushkaExtra that we have interviewed the Director General of the Sierra Leone Civil Aviation Authority of Sierra Leone, Freetown. Don't forget, this is the MushkaExtra on reaching you on this channel. And of course, don't forget to join us on a subsequent edition that we are going to talk about more exciting things and all. I've been your presenter, Mariah Mushka. Thank you, and don't forget to follow us on our Facebook at the MushkaExtra, our Instagram at the MushkaExtra. Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah.